one of the contestants in the End of the Trail for 1986. So, Bob, you were telling me about the different facets of gunslinging, and also, I guess you are known as one of the fastest gunslingers in the world.
Yeah, well, I'm listed in the Guinness Book of World Records as the fastest man with a gun who ever lived.
Oh.
There are 18 world records you can hold in this sport. I hold all 18 and have since 1960. Now, I've won 3,500 trophies, 800 major championships as well. Fast draw is the fastest thing a human being does. Nobody does anything faster than what I do with guns.
Can you give it a comparison to something that would come close but is not as fast?
Speed of light, which is far beyond it.
Right.
There is nothing next to it. Now you say, no, what are you talking about? I said, well, and then I have to show you.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the fastest gun in the world right here. Bob, you are quick.
Well, the first reaction that people have when they see this draw is, now, wait a minute, could you really hit anything doing that?
Right.
Well, let me show you my own way with a target that is indeed out of the holster. Let me set this target up. I'll shoot about 8 feet away because I'm shooting blanks now. Here we go.
Now, in terms of time, Bob, how quick was that?
I draw, cock, level, fire this gun, and hit what I'm shooting at in less than 2/100ths of 1 second.
Okay, Bob. Now, what exactly are we going to do here?
We're going to do something very special for you. At least give it a good try. Now, we're going to take this .45 Colt single action. We got an empty gun here, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 shots here. Here's one going into the gun. There's one, and here's 2 shots going into the gun. Now we have 2 shots in the gun, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what I'll do is I've got the 2 shots. Now, what I'll do is draw the gun once. I'll fire it twice, and while I'm at it, take the targets with me as fast as I can.
Okay.
The idea is to shoot the gun fast twice. Now let's give it a try, and I'll try and do it right the first try, okay?
Okay, go ahead. Good luck to you.
Okay.
You shot both?
Hold them. Hot and fired. Hot and fired. That wasn't even a good one.
That wasn't even a good one, and both of them are gone. He shot 2, and it sounded like it was 1 shot.
We can do that again, make it even better. So let's try that again here just for fun. There's 1. Here's 2. Let's give it a try. Okay?
Okay, 2 shots going to sound like 1, and he's going to hit both of the balloons. It still sounded like just 1 shot to me.
On the other hand,
both of the bullets are gone.
And the gun's empty, right?
Yep. That's absolutely unbelievable, Bob. You are very, very, very quick.
Shalom, I want to start this off by giving honor, praise, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Wahawa Kakwadash. Peace and salutations to your element of Israel, starting with the elder apostles and the bishops of GMS on down, to the rest of you brothers and the brothers I labor with who all push forth with the doctrine of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, in all faith, truth, and sincerity, according to the true understanding of the scriptures. To all of you, I say Shalom. So this is just a quick lesson, and it's going to go into Esau, Edom, right? And in regards to what I will title the lesson, will be something or along the lines of, Esau was a cunning hunter, or the man that will live by the sword, right? And he shall live by the sword, referring to Genesis 27:40. Right, which I'm also get here, but within that video, the one of the brothers, he inspired me to do this lesson, right? But within that video, you're able to see, a prime example of what makes Esau, Esau. The so-called white man Esau, right? Who the word calls the so-called white man. because the so-called white man isn't actually white. Which is why it's so-called, because really he's red, you know? And when you look at the characteristics of Esau, Edom, they align right along with the so-called white man, you know? And this is just one of those examples. So, jumping straight into this, I'm going to start up here. This is Genesis 25 and 25, and this is the birth of Jacob, which is our forefathers, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, right? Our forefathers, or so like our forefather, Jacob, right, is the twin brother of Esau, Edom, right? Who is the forefather, the progenitor of the so-called white race, you know? So, Genesis 25 and 25, it says, and the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they call his name Esau, right? Which Esau originally goes into he that is washed away or wasted away, right? Him having no melanin, because it goes on to talk about Jacob, but it doesn't describe his countenance like how it does with Esau. And that's important to know because Jacob came out normal, having melanin as which was normal, because it's normal to have melanin, and it's abnormal to not have melanin, you know. And that's why it was mentioned in regards to Esau. But all these things, nonetheless, are still key things that the Lord had happen, all for a reason, you know. But when you jump down to verse 27, it says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, right? And that's key, right? In the NLT, it says Esau became a skillful hunter. But that word for cunning, let's get that real quick. Cunning being an adjective, right? It says learnt, skillful, possessing knowledge, to know, skillfully deceitful, which that's key right there. Skillfully deceitful. It says characterized by crafty ingenuity, right? Which ingenuity is the quality of being clever, original, or inventive, right? Inventiveness, right? So the type of dealings that Esau gets into, you know, is very crafty and deceitful, right? So he's very deceitful, crafty, and skillful when it comes to hunting, you know? So that's the word for cunning, right? So that's what this is, a characteristic that was given and displayed, you know, through Esau, right? Now when you jump to 27, right, and when Isaac, his father, right, our forefather, when he gave the blessings, right, this was the blessing that he gave to Esau. It says, Isaac his father answered, verse 39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above. It says, and this is the point, verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live. And that's probably what I'll title the lesson, right? And by thy sword shalt thou live. That's what I was referring to. I should say that's what I was thinking of, right? Because that's how Esau lives. That's how Esau gets down. He gets down by the sword, right? And that sword is a killing instrument, simply. But let's see what it goes into. It says sword, knife. Right. It says also a cutting instrument from its destructive effect as a knife, sword, or other sharp implement. Right? Salakia. Let's see what else they got. A sword is having a significant edge. It is applied to other cutting instruments. See? So this man, he lives by these Salakia. This man, he lives by his sword, right? This man, he's known for killing, stealing, and destroying. All things that the sword is used for, right? And when you look at his rap sheet and you look at who he is, he's the wicked. And a part of him being the wicked is him using that sword and living by it, right? But continuing the verse, it says, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. You see? So he always been on that type of time. And everything that happened in regards to the cares and the negligence of him and his actions. You know? But it was all to show who he was, right? He didn't care about the Lord like how Jacob did. He cared to live after the flesh more than he did after the spirit. And that's the two contrasts between the two, right? And the scriptures talk about living after the flesh, you know, it leads to death. He shall die, you know? And that's all you see within how this man gets down and the system that he has set up, right? But grabbing this real quick, this is Psalms 17 and 13, right? It says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. You see? So the Lord is going on to tell you the wicked is his sword, right? He uses them to do a lot of that cutting down, a lot of the killing, the destruction, showing the different variations of a killing instrument, you know, a sharp tool, right, that brings forth death and destruction. And that's something that you see prevalent within Esau Edom, you know. That's why the scriptures say, never trust thine enemy, right? You want to trust this damn devil. Because again, he a cunning hunter, right? And again, when you get that word, right? Skillfully deceitful. Skillfully deceitful. You see? So you have to be very, very, very cautious of how you deal with this man. You know? Because when it comes to the sword, that's a part of his blessing. So that's pretty much the point. You know, that's pretty much it. You know, it's just by the Spirit, you know, just being a good example to see, you know, the type of man that he is. Right? So just stay aware, stay cautious, and, you know, continue to keep building yourself up in the Spirit to see things how the Lord, you know, has things meant to be seen. You know? So with that, I'm going to give all the praise and glory to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Wahawa Kakwadash. Till next time, Shalom.